Hello, book lovers, and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Perkins, and today I'm talking to poetess and spiritualist medium Gillian Holland. If you've ever felt like you don't quite belong and have spent your life conforming to other people's expectations, this could be for you. The Wisdom Within is Gillian's first booklet penned during the 2020 United Kingdom lockdown. Hi Gillian, first of all welcome, and thank you for coming to talk to me on Book Talk Radio Club.
Hi Claire.
Gillian, why this book, The Wisdom Within, now?
The title, The Wisdom Within, was given to me years before the book actually materialised.
Okay.
But my poems are meant to inspire and empower and to give voice to our feelings at a time of great uncertainty and confusion when we had to conform to outside expectations. So really, they're a reconnection to our inner authority when we're feeling a bit demeaned by what's going on in the outside world. And at a time in pandemic where really our freedom had been seriously eroded.
Oh, and how? It's a collection of 21 poems and other shorter quotes, all
That's
inspired by your daily walks in nature, as you reflected on the very loss of your father and the abuse you suffered subsequently. As much as this pandemic has been awful for some and downright heartbreaking for others, the very fact that the world had to come to a stop and we all had to isolate gave us time to rediscover nature and ourselves. As well as fear, there was also a sense of peace though, wasn't there? Very little traffic, no planes overhead, the rush of 21st century life coming to a screeching halt, and we needed it, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think the world was hitting crisis point anyway, and it's like the whole pandemic thing just heightened it. Yes, and we all needed a break. Yes.
So let's talk about some of the poems and quotes, starting with Dark Dusty Boxes. What a great title. Gillian, would you like to read that one over the air?
Okay. So it's a very short poem. It's dark dusty boxes. Looking back over my shoulder, I can see clearly now that it's important not to struggle for meaning gleaned from dark, dusty boxes dumped in some dark corner of your mind, but to live life's magic moment by moment, celebrating its innate wisdom from the bottom of our hearts.
I love that. Thank you. It's so easy to dwell on the meaning of things past, isn't it? And not live. Just be stuck there going round and round like a hamster on a wheel. I love the fact that you encourage the reader to live in the moment. There is definitely magic in every moment. Gillian, how do you live in the moment?
Meditation, I'm a medium, as you know, has been a mainstay in my life for a long, long time now. So meditation will help bring you into the moment and help you let go of the past and also the fear of the future. So, as I say, I meditate first thing in the morning and then again before going to bed. And it really helps me to stay present, to get my mind into gear for what's to come for the rest of the day, but also to celebrate each moment, to celebrate being here, because being alive is a great gift and we don't always recognise that.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, and the other thing is that walking, which is a part of the book, my going out on my daily walk, is also, you could look at it as a moving meditation. And the Buddhists, this is one of the meditations the Buddhists use. It's a sheer joy to walk and to immerse yourself in the sights and sound of the natural world. And actually just the sheer act of moving helps us begin to dust the cobwebs and see things differently.
I agree. When I learned how important it is to live every step of the journey, I found the rainbow had always been at my feet. That's wonderful. Can you explain that to the listeners, please?
Yeah, that's one of the shorter quotes in my book, and it's another reference to being present here in this moment. In my Tai Chi practice, it was known as the perfect moment. I've always been inspired by the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And when we suffer traumas, we very often live in the shadow of our own lives, stuck in old belief patterns. So the quote is an invitation to step back into the spotlight of our own life to select the colours you prefer rather than the colours that were chosen for you by outer authority figures, because they've got no relevance to who you are as an individual today. So as a medium, energetically, I believe that we are all rainbow people, because we are beings of light. And that crock of gold we're told about isn't out there waiting to be discovered. The wisdom, the crock of gold, is within each and every one of us.
Yeah.
And we are our own authority. And the meditation practice and the walking in the natural world will help restore us to that place of wholeness.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thank you.
On pain and perception, would you like to tell us about that? I mean, you're not talking about just physical pain, are you?
No, it's a perception of, as I say, it's a perception, and it's how we see pain. I'm talking about the body-mind link and how emotional and mental distress can become real physical pain and discomfort.
Absolutely.
If we don't address our feelings at the time.
Yeah, because all of that kind of stuff, it just manifests into physical problems, doesn't it?
It does, and there's a famous book by Louise Hay that I think most of us are familiar with, You Can Heal Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
So then, as I was saying, it's about the relationship that we have with ourselves. When my dad died, and this book of poems is dedicated to my dad, I wasn't even 5 years old, so I didn't have the words or the concepts to describe the sudden departure of my father. And I believe that a lot of these poems are an expression of the words and concepts I didn't have at the time, so couldn't express at the time. As I think we all know, poems are so therapeutic and healing. Writing generally, journaling, is really therapeutic and healing.
Very much so, very much so.
Yeah.
Each of your poems begins with the words, looking back over my shoulder, I can see clearly now. Why did you start each poem with those words?
Faffing around on YouTube, the words from the Mike and the Mechanic song, which goes back to the late 1990s, looking back over my shoulder, kept running again and again and again through my brain. So I went onto YouTube and found it very, very inspiring. And then on the back of that, the Johnny Nash, I can see clearly now. Mm-hmm. So it's not about going, the poems aren't about going back into the past and just dwelling on it as a victim. They're about taking aspects of the past and changing them, changing the way we look at them, so that we can come together and move into the future as whole beings.
I think it's a lot to do with acceptance as well, acceptance of things that have happened, and accepting that they're there, but now is the time to move forward and change your life.
Yeah, absolutely right, yes. Yeah, I mean, one of the major things of loss, one of the early stages of grieving is of course denial. Yeah. And if that loss and departure and separation has been particularly traumatic, you're really, really shocked. And that alone takes a while to sort of come to terms with. Yes.
Very much.
Totally.
So. Reflections, meditation and visualization. You encourage the reader to meditate and give some instruction on that. Would you like to share some of that here?
Yep. I do have I've got a real passion for meditation, and I'll just share the tree meditation with you, which also incorporates the breathing. How much time do you want on it, Claire? Do you want me to take it through as a meditation?
Just give us an idea. That would be good.
Okay. So all my meditations, I encourage people to sit in a chair, or in this case, as the book suggests, go out into the outside world. On a sunny day, sit with your back against a tree. Okay. As you begin to relax with your back against the tree, I encourage people to first of all observe their breath. Yeah. Now, normally in day-to-day living, we're in panic mode. okay?
Yeah.
So we're not using our lungs to our fullest capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, we're not releasing the toxins that we are otherwise able to release, particularly if we're stressed. So I would encourage people just to sit with their back against the tree and observe their breath. Also, they might become aware of the sun beaming down on their shoulders if it's a nice day, and then to become aware of the way the breeze touches their cheeks. And from then in, you can create a wonderful connection to the tree, because the tree, of course, takes our carbon dioxide and gives us the oxygen.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I've described that very well.
Yeah, you have. You've done very well with it, because to me, when you lean against a tree, you're grounding yourself as well.
Absolutely. So that you've got the tree roots beneath you, so it helps ground you and helps you feel secure in a way that, if you're suffering loss or trauma, then you feel totally unsafe. So the tree is kind of then becomes the mainstay in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Gillian, what do you think people have learned from the pandemic? Hoping most of them have learned something, of course.
This is a big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think to start with, there was a real sense of bonhomie, and even though it was a frightening situation, I think people were very, very open to helping one another.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm just not certain of what's going on. I think we're confronted here in the UK, at least, with the possibility of going into another lockdown. So it feels all of the time that we're teetering on the brink. I can't answer that, Claire, more than I have done so, and more than to encourage people to meditate and stay in the present moment and actually begin to acknowledge that we all together as a community, a global community, can begin to make a positive change out there in the world, so that the world becomes a place of equal rather than us and them.
Perfectly put. You've already received some lovely reviews. Amongst them, this is a gem of a book, 21 beautifully crafted poems which deal with the eternal issues of grief, loss and love. And I thoroughly recommend this little book to anyone who is seeking solace in these dark times. Also, gentle, reflective, reassuring. This is a pamphlet to read when you feel ready to create new opportunities in your life in the face of loss. A booklet to dip into for reflection, especially when walking in nature yourself. That's just wonderful, Gillian. Great reviews. Well done. So lastly, where can readers purchase The Wisdom Within?
It's available on Amazon, so you just need to go on to amazon.co.uk. It's also available in Amazon America, also in Australia, also in South Africa.
Wonderful.
But Amazon, go into Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And it was lovely to talk to you. Good luck for the future. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio Club. Lovely to talk to you, Gillian.
Thank you.
Okay, bye now.